Good evening. My name is Rabbi Teichman, and I'm going to talk about two roles I have here in yeshiva. First, I'm going to talk about the role that I enjoy. I enjoy being a Rabbi and learning with Talmidim. I teach the regular 9th grade Gemara for Iyun to explain, just to contrast a little the difference between Rabbi Skolnik's share and my share. Gemara takes many years to learn to master. A boy has to learn, for lack of a better word, the rhythm of the Gemara. Where the question begins, where the question answers. Why is the question a question? Why is the answer an answer? Chumash, the boy's not really listening, and you ask him, oh, what did the pasuk say? And, absent-mindedly he tells you and repeats back to you what you said. If this is the way the kid is answering Gemara, he doesn't really understand anything, because Gemara is all about processing. It's not really about memory. So in 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, and different boys get it at different speeds, the boy has to learn the processing aspect of the Gemara and be able to get the rhythm of the Gemara. So I focus very much in the Iyun. It's not so important to me exactly how much I'm going to cover, but the boy has to understand, why is this question really a question? Not just be able to repeat back to me the Gemara's question. How does the answer the question? Not just to repeat back to me exactly what the answer was, and then also to read this inside in the Gemara. It's the same with Rashi, and it's the same with the select Taisusin that I do. I also choose sometimes to do a little more advanced, even if I know that the boys won't really understand it, that they should have an awareness that the Gemara is very deep, is very big, and there's somewhere where we need to get to, even if we're not here right now, today. I also want to mention I teach in the afternoon, the Bikiyas, I teach 10th grade. So this morning was an off Shabbos. The boys didn't have yeshiva on Friday and Sunday. So I was learning with 8 boys for over 2 hours this morning. 5 boys came to my shul, 3 boys called in. We tried all of the video conferencing. I see the younger generation knows how to do it, not me. At least the cell phone we can call in. But they learned for over 2 hours. And I'll be up front. There's a Shaloi Lishma aspect. I told them they're having a test tomorrow. But they came to learn for 2 hours. And this is my nachas. That not only can I learn Gemara with them and help them that they're going to be able to master Gemaras in the morning, to be able to understand the building blocks and learn the rhythm of the Gemara. In the afternoon, the goal is to finish the entire Masechta, but that they can actually enjoy doing it, because the Shaloi Lishma, the test only can give a certain amount of motivation. Not enough, at least when I was their age, to actually spend 2 or 2.5 hours of my vacation time with the Rabbi. I'd like to also speak about my other role here that I don't like, and that is the role of the Dean of Students. In most schools, you don't earn any friends with this title and with this job. And I even heard that some students told their parents, how could I have a Rebbe who's also the Dean of Students? It's like a Tardi de Sasri. It's a paradox. It can't really happen. So I want to explain how I work and what I do and what really my goal is. I believe, and my experience has been, that 90% of what needs to be done could and must be done in a positive way. If I have a relationship with every boy in a positive way, friendly, humor, making sure that I value each and every boy and respect him for who he is. If I ask him directly, Ruvain, it's time to come to class now, or I walk around and say, Bachram, we have to be in Shir now, I'm going to get cooperation 90% of the time. And it was a pleasant interaction, and the boys will go into Shir in a pleasant manner. In contrast to, if I have to stand there, where are you, and it becomes a negative interaction. One of the reasons that Rav Skolnik has entire 9th grade for 15 minutes in the morning, even though after the hashkafa we split up, is that this allows me at the end of breakfast and to start the day off correctly. I physically go around, I'll go to the gym, to the dining room, to every place in the building, and walk the bubble to where they need to be. An arm around the shoulder, literally or figuratively, however it needs to be done. Because in this way it's pleasant and we all know where we need to go. So like by, I don't want to say here by the open house, but like by chasana or by dinner, you want to move people from one room to the next. We know it doesn't just happen. And it's the same thing when a bachar has to go from one place to another. We have a policy that the boys should all wear jackets by davening, regardless of what they do at a yeshiva. We feel it adds a ramah, it adds respect and a higher level to the davening, which it certainly does, whether or not the boys agree or not. So we have 55 bachrim, and today all 55 wear a jacket. Some of them need a little personal attention, that, we help them with the jacket. I guess they're used to professional dress or whatever it is. But the idea is, if we can do this pleasantly and we can have this outcome, it becomes really, really a pleasant atmosphere. Of course, there's the 10%. But if the thrust of all the dean of students could be in a way that's relatively pleasant, then we're going to set up the bachrim. They're going to enjoy being here. They're going to want to be here. They're going to want to have a kesher to the Rabbi, and they will associate Avodas Hashem and Talmud Torah with positive people, with positive interactions. I just want to conclude that I've worked at many institutions, and I really have to say that I feel privileged working together with the other Rabbeim in this institution for the following reason. Every Rebbe, even though we're all different, every Rebbe is on the same page, and every Rebbe is an exceptional Baal Midas. That even if we can have disagreements or differences of opinions, however one wants to call it, all the Rabbeim are working for the best interest of every single Bacher in the institution. And the Rabbeim, whatever their views, it doesn't get in the way. The goal is, and the yeshiva, the function is to service the Bachrim, that they should grow in Torah, in Avodah, in Gemilas Chasadim. That's the goal of every Rebbe. Every Rebbe is a model for the boys, whether they're Hasmada, whether they're Avodah, whether they're Gemilas Chasadim, and how the Rabbeim interact with each other is really also a model for the Bachrim. And if it's the right fit, send your boy here. And if it's not the right fit, enjoy and see what a wonderful yeshiva could be. Thank you. Oh, any time before events?
Before you go, I mentioned before that my son's here in the yeshiva, and didn't have a chance to mention just the amazing impact that Rabbi had on my child. And my wife's here; she can attest to the fact that in the last 2.5 years, because every time Rabbi Skolnick's name was mentioned in our house, almost usually in a good way, we would have like a dollar for every time. It was only help supplement our rabbinic salary, but just the tremendous impact that Rabbi have had on my son and on his friends. So I think we have another couple of minutes. Anybody have any questions to the Rebbeim about either the schedule or the learning or the goals or anything along those lines? We have just a minute or two for questions. So if not, I'm going to ask everyone to join us through the door, through this